My name is Gary Shelley. This is my 2014 Dodge Dart GT. I bought this car used from Dothan Chrysler in Dothan, Alabama for a present for my wife. The car had 6,000 miles on it when I purchased it. My wife was involved in a minor accident. Somebody changed lanes into her, causing damage to the front bumper, the right side fender, and the right front door. You can see that the fender and the door have been replaced. We brought the car in the shop and started repairing the damage and found spots in the door that we were going to blend on the right rear door. You can still see a few of the spots that have not been sanded out. Some of them you have to sand all the way through every layer of paint that is on the car. I contacted Chrysler. They've blown me off several times. Said that the car was painted at a body shop. I do agree with Chrysler on the fact that the car has been painted multiple times. The purpose of this video is to prove that the car was not painted at another collision shop, because I'm going to repair these spots and I'm going to get this car stripped and painted the way that it needs to be. First, we're going to establish that the car has been painted. This is a coating thickness meter, also known as a mill gauge. This determines the thickness of the paint on the car. The hood, which has a spot you can see there circled, has 13.7 mils on it. The fender that we are replacing has got primer on it, is only 3 mils. The roof is 13.4, and this is after being sanded with 220 grit sandpaper. You can tell, you see the glossy look between the layers of paint. That means the paint was not even sanded before the last layer of paint was put on. As I said, they are telling me that they feel like the car was painted at a collision shop. If you notice, the bolt on the fender and the bolts on the door that we are replacing are scarred up. The bolts on the rear door are not, because that door has never been off of the car. There are spots in this rocker panel inside the jam that I found last night when I was prepping the car. You can see spots. In the jam. It reads 5.9 mils. That is right in line with what a factory paint job is supposed to read, anywhere from 5 to 6 mils. The quarter panel glass has only been in the car one time. You can tell by the single seam or bead of urethane around the quarter glass. If that quarter glass had been out of the car, unless the quarter panel had been replaced, which there's no sign of, there will be more than one bead of urethane on there. You can also tell there's no tape line whatsoever. There are more spots inside the front door jamb. You can see them there. These are the same spots that are on the outside of the car. .3 mils. And again, there's no tape line, no indication that this car has been painted by anybody other than the factory. Everything on this car that has been painted so far was painted before any trim was put on it and was not taped up. Chrysler has blown me off from the very beginning. They told me they have thoroughly investigated this, and I personally know that their investigation consists of me taking the car to the dealership and them taking a few sorry pictures, nowhere near as good as the pictures that I've taken. They also, the guy that was looking at it, in all due respect, is a service manager. He has nothing to do with a collision shop, has never worked in a collision shop to my knowledge, and did not even look at any of the gems, did not look at any of the information that I provided to him. He simply took a few pictures to send to Chrysler, and they have denied the claim not once but twice. No indication that this car has been taken apart. No indication that the car has been painted by anybody other than the factory. You can see 3 layers of paint on that fender. That was one of the spots that had to get sanded all the way through to the metal before it would come out. I expect that the ones on the roof will be so as well. I will take pictures of this car as I keep progressing through the repairs. But I wanted to take this video to show, so that people can see with their eyes while I'm talking about it, that this car has not been painted by anybody other than the factory. There's no flaking clear that is consistent with a body shop letting clear coat blow into a jam. There are no tape lines. There are no scars on any of the bolts. There is no sign that this car has been taken apart or touched by a human hand in a manner of a repair. Everything on this car is consistent with being done at the factory. You can see in the jams they're as clean as they can be. Absolutely no paint breaks, no tape lines, nothing of that sort. There's absolutely, one more time, absolutely no sign that this car has been painted by anybody other than the factory. This car is 18 mils thick in some areas. Most of them are anywhere from 13 up to 15 mils on every panel of this car. I'm going to strip this car. It's been lightly sanded with 220 grit paper. I wanted to see if any more of these spots showed. So far they have not. Any spots that may show as I break through this first layer of paint, I will take pictures of them. And once again, that's the spots. I'm going to go back to the mill gauge. And one more time. That's the hood. Right front roof. Right rear roof. Keep in mind this is after I have sanded it with 220 grit paper. That's the right rear door. Right quarter panel. Again, this is after I sanded these panels. That is the right quarter that I just measured. 14.8 at the top after it's been sanded. 15.3 on the right and left rear of the roof. And this is after I've sanded it. 11.4 there. And this is the left rear door, which lets me know that this side has been painted twice. Based off of that measurement, if you assume 5 to 6 mils, and it could go a little over, it could be up to 7 mils for a paint job from the factory. But that's pretty consistent with 2 layers of paint from the factory. Lets me know there was some kind of an issue at the factory. 16.9 at the front fender on the left side. Again, you can look at the bolt hole or the bolts and tell that they have never been touched. They've never been taken off of the car. All of this is consistent once again that this car was redone at the factory. Chrysler has blown me off. They will not do anything about this. I've seen online where numerous customers are complaining about the same thing. I plan to turn this information over to my attorney and see what comes of it. Thank you for watching my video.